Welcome to this tutorial showing how to find company and equities data in DATASTREAM. Please make sure that you've watched the logging on to DATASTREAM video first. I've successfully logged into DATASTREAM and I'm ready to start my search. I'm going to use the time series request option here on the left to open this request box. And I want to search for Sainsbury's, and I'm going to find market value and dividend yield. So to do that, I opt to search find series, and this launches the DATASTREAM navigator. So it's a good idea when it opens for the first time just to clear the previous search so that you're starting from the beginning, because it tends to remember the last thing searched for. So I've clicked on clear all. Then I'm going to choose a single category, and because it's a company that I'm interested in, I'm going to choose equities to make sure I'm in the right part of the navigator. Now, using the box at the top, I can search for the company, so I'm going to search for Sainsbury and then click on search. It will bring me back the matching companies. You can usually work out the one that you want based on the star system. It's usually the one with the 3 stars. If you're in any doubt, then check the currency. So this is the correct one. It's the currency is the United Kingdom pound. I've got the name of the company, which exchange it's running on, and which sector it's working within. Once you've found a company of choice, if you click on it, you will get a little bit more information appear below. If we just scroll down, you can see that it opens up this more detailed box here where you can find more information about the company. Make sure it's the right one. So when you're certain it's the company that you want to use in your search, you tick the box next to it and then click on use, and that returns you to the time series request box, and it will put the information required, so that's the code for Sainsbury's, in the top box here, S, B, R and Y. When you fill in the find series option in any time series request box, if you leave this one open, the data types option, it will automatically return the price for that company because that's the default. If you want anything else, you need to put the code in here, and because we're looking for market value first of all, that's the code we're going to need to select. So to do that, we select data types first of all, and that will take us back to the DATASTREAM navigator that we were just using. It's important when you're searching for data types that you make sure you're in the right part of the navigator. If you've recently done a search for equities, it will keep you in the right section, so we are in the right section. But if you'd recently done a search, for example, for economics, you'd be in a different part of the navigator. So just make sure that you always reselect equities before you start searching for the data type that you need. So now we can search for market value. So once I've done that, the various data types that you can use have come back in the main screen, just like they did before with the company options. And similarly, we're looking for the data type with 3 stars. And if you select it by clicking on it, you will get more information about that variable. So it explains how the variable is calculated and give you a little definition of it so that you can be certain it's the right one. I'm going to close that. So it's market value that I'm looking for, so I'm going to tick the box, click on use like I did before, and that particular code is returned to the DATASTREAM time series request box ready for me to use. Now I've got to now make a selection of the information listed below. So I'm going to stay with the default here of the start date of -2y, that means for the last 2 years. I could change that if I wanted to a particular start year, or I could increase that to say -5y if I wanted a longer period of history. Then you need to make sure that the frequency of the data matches the availability. So I know that market value is a figure that's available on a daily basis, so I'm happy to stay with that. If it was another variable that maybe was only available weekly or monthly, I would need to change my selection. Then we need to also make some selections in the options section too. So by default, display row titles and column titles is already selected, so that's good. But we also want to display headings, so I'm going to select that as well, and display currency. Then there's one extra element which is automatically ticked, which is really important that you deselect, and that's this auto refresh. We don't want that selected. The concern with keeping it selected is that it will refresh your data automatically when you're not connected to DataStream, and it could wipe it out. So it's very important that you deselect auto refresh. So when you've done all of that, we're ready to submit and ask DataStream to retrieve that information. So I'm going to click on submit now. So it's returned the information that we wanted. Wherever your mouse is clicked on when you begin, that's where the data will appear. So it's usually in cell A1, as it is for me, but if I'd clicked over here before I started, then my data would just have been pulled back into this portion of the screen. So we've got the information we asked for here. Sainsbury's market value. You can just expand the column there to see that a bit more clearly. Once you've run a search, it's very easy to make changes to it. Just make sure that you're clicked in cell A1, that's the one with the little triangle in the top right hand corner. Then that enables you to click on the edit request option up here. If you're clicked somewhere else, edit request won't work. You must be clicked in here. Then select edit request, and that reopens the time series request box, enabling you to make any changes. So if I wanted to keep market value in my search but add another variable, I can do that very simply by clicking on data types and taking me back into the navigator. So I can clear this search by clicking on the X there, and now I can search for another variable. So I'm going to search for dividend yield. So this gives me the full range of options of different data types for dividend yield that I can use. You usually want the one with the 3 stars. That's the one I'm going to select. Again, I could just click on it to get that explanation of it beneath, so you can be certain it's the right one. Tick to select it, say that you want to use it, bring it back into your time series request, and then click on submit. Again, you need to make sure that the data is available on a daily basis if that's what you've originally selected, which I have done, so that's ready to use. Just remember to save your work to a memory stick when you've finished, so that you don't lose your work at the end of a period using DataStream. That's the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching.